So much for the good guys, but what about Cecil Rhodes, that arch villain of imperialism? His statue at Oxford, where he was a one-term dropout, but an incomparable benefactor to all students of all races. That statue triggered the hashtag Rhodes Must Fall campaign, which was the prototype of all subsequent topplings. Now, Livingstone's brother-in-law, my two greats-grandfather, John Smith Moffat, he was a fierce opponent of Cecil Rhodes after the mining magnate had violated a treaty with Moffat's friend, Chief Lobengula. Other people shared Moffat's low opinion of Rhodes. Mark Twain said, "I admire Rhodes, I frankly confess it, and when his time comes, I shall buy a piece of the rope for a keepsake." Yet there was obvious greatness in Rhodes, as historian Paul Johnson acknowledged, with his passion for extending the benefits of British civilisation from Cape to Cairo. There were glimpses of goodness. For example, he quietly funded the education of Lobengula's son in Juba, and race was never a criterion for his scholarships. Never. There was courage. In the Second Matabele War, Rhodes walked unarmed into the chief's stronghold to urge an end to hostilities. He earned respect from former enemies. At his burial in their lands in 1902, the warrior heirs of Lobengula gave the royal salute. And even Robert Mugabe preserved Rhodes' grave as an essential part of Rhodesia, Zimbabwe's history. It's more complicated, isn't it? So, should small, self-righteous students be allowed to topple Rhodes' statue at Oxford? Students who've done nothing more courageous in their life than shout "F the police" at rallies? Students who condemn Rhodes' claim of British cultural superiority while urging the state-enforced superiority of Greta's global green ideology and a borderless, genderless Gaia? Shabby students who condemn their forebears for taking profit from slaves while taking pleasure themselves from present-day slaves trafficked in the porn fields of the internet. It is precisely because of decades of cultural self-loathing instilled in such students that the perverse Western urge to topple our past is now so strong. True, there is, quote, a great deal of ruin in a nation, as Adam Smith said, because there is a great deal of ruin in each of us who make up the nation. But there is also great good. The one-sided dwelling on cultural failings is a sickness, possibly terminal, and it needs radical treatment. I would suggest an eye transplant. Let's give our young people different eyes for looking at our nation's history. Eyes of compassion instead of morbid rage. Only compassion can look steadily at the shame and the honour of a nation or a person and still find reason to love and pity it. Precisely because it understands that all history, being human, is a tragic mix of striving for good and sinking into evil. That's the way we are. Let him who is without sin topple the first statue.